way of background, on a global scale, my view is that countries that have been able to reduce the magnitude of corruption, or countries that have been able to consolidate their democracies, have done so because of independent institutions. And that speaks to the work of the public protector. And the countries that come to mind are countries like New Zealand, Singapore, Denmark, and so on. So that office is extremely important in terms of promoting accountability. But of late, I think covering the period of arguably 7 years or 8 years, my reading of the situation is that there has been a lot of politicization of that office. I think at some point it was embroiled in some of the factional battles of the ANC, and that affected, some of the findings of the public protector. Now, if you examine the public protector that has been appointed, I think 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, I have my reservations, even though I think it's still early days. Maybe we need to give her the benefit of the doubt, but I don't agree with the findings with regard to the Phala matter. I still don't understand why she had a different interpretation of paid work. But anyway, I just think that there is a lot that has happened in that office that should never have happened in the first place. And I think also, Hugo, the public also is an important control measure, with regard to such issues. I think the public should not be perpetually silent when things like those are happening.
Professor Breakfast, do you think the new public protector is impartial in her judgment, particularly when you talk about the issue that you've just referred to?
Yeah, I want to be fair and square. I think it's still early days to make that call, but in theory, I think the public protector needs to be fair and square in executing her duties. I think the public protector should do her work without fear, favor, or prejudice. Maybe I'm playing the cart before the horse. It's still early days, but those findings that were unveiled, I think they were very unfortunate, because how do they differ from the other findings of that section of 189 of the independent panel of former Chief Justice Noble, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so we'll leave that question there and move on to the next one. Now, how does the impeachment of her predecessor, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, impact the expectations and responsibilities placed on Kholeka Gcaleka during her 7-year term?
Yeah, so what had happened was it was unfortunate. It was unprecedented. There were some political dynamics there because, I think there were findings by Parliament that she was not, fit and proper to execute her duties. But I think the concern is that the president waited until there was a complaint that was laid about the Phala matter, and then suspended her as if he was sensing a danger that she would have found him to have been at fault. So those are the political dynamics. But at the same time, I just think that she gravitated, in my opinion, towards a particular faction of the ANC, and was found not to be acting in good faith on many occasions, and lost a lot of cases. But I hope that the new one will be a breath of fresh air.
Now let's talk about the key challenges and difficulties currently facing South Africa, and how do they relate to the responsibilities of the Public Protector's Office?
Hugo, you know as well as I do that the fundamental problem that we have, which is posing a threat to economic growth and also to our democracy, is corruption. So the Public Protector then, I think, is an important office in terms of holding politicians accountable, because one of the functions of the Public Protector is to investigate complaints from the public. But I think one of the things that maybe she could do well is to make sure that ordinary people can access that office, that not only people who are part of the elite can lay complaints, that also ordinary, because the Constitution says that anyone can lay a complaint to the Office of the Public Protector. But yeah, I think for me the most important thing is to hold politicians accountable.
Professor Breakfast,
yeah.
Okay, sorry, I might have interjected while you were still trying to wrap up there.
No, I wanted to say politicians and also public officials.
Professor Breakfast, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast, Director of the Centre of Security, Peace and Conflict Resolution at the Nelson Mandela University.